Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour. This is the show where we talk about everything from comic books to movies and everything in between. My name is Aiden, and I hope that you're doing well today. So this is going to be my recap and review of Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. This was written by Jim Shooter and illustrated by Mike Zeck and Bob Layton. Now, I've been doing an individual, a review of each individual issue of this series. I started in October of 2022, and at the time of recording, it is August 2025, so I do apologize that it has taken me so long to complete this entire series, but unfortunately, life does get in the way, but I'm trying to do better. So, with Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, like I said, this is my recap and review, so basically, the gist of the story is that all of the major superheroes and supervillains from Earth are transported to this patchwork world called Battle World that was created by a being called the Beyonder, who is a godlike being from beyond the Marvel Universe, Earth 616, the main continuity. And some people theorize that he was from the DC universe, but later stories would say that would go into the Beyonder's origins. I don't want to talk about those right now, but this was an effort by Marvel Comics to promote a new, at the time, new toy line created by Mattel, based on the Marvel Comics characters, and so they created this story to promote that toy line. And even though it's very corporate in its behind the scenes, I really, really enjoy the story, and the artwork is very, very well done. Jim Shooter was also the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics at the time, and who knew he was such a talented writer? Because everyone is in character, and we get clear motivations for them, and we understand who they are, why they're doing what they're doing. And let me give you an example of some of the artwork here. This is, in my personal taste, gorgeous. A lot of people who are fans of more modern comic books might find it, hokey and find the story simplistic. That's their own prerogative, but I really, really enjoy this story. And here's another example with all of the villains. We have a great selection of characters in this story. But Secret Wars is the end of the Bronze Age of comics for Marvel, and it was actually sort of, they sped up the process because they had heard that DC Comics was going to do a major event. And this was Marvel's first major event. Technically, you could say 1982's Contest of Champions was the first, but this is generally regarded as the first major crossover between all of the Marvel heroes. There was a comic book series called Marvel Team Up, where Spider-Man would team up with a different hero each month, and the other heroes had met each other, and there were story arcs where they would interact with each other, but this was the first major crossover, and I have to give it props for that. But what would become Crisis on Infinite Earths is announcement was what prompted Shooter and the rest of the team over at Marvel to expedite the production of this story. But they're both companion pieces to each other, in my personal opinion, because Crisis is the end of the Bronze Age for DC. I did a similar series for that. I'll leave a link to the playlist for you if you're interested in watching that, and I'll leave a link to the playlist for Secret Wars if you haven't caught up on my review of each individual issue. But overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being dog shit and 10 being fantastic,
Say that again?
And I'm wearing my Fantastic Four t-shirt. I would say that Secret Wars is a 10 out of 10. This is one of my favorite Marvel comics, and it's one of my favorite comic book events that I've read. I tend to, focus more on individual story arcs rather than events, although I do read events from time to time. But this is the cream of the crop, in my personal opinion. But, yeah. So, this video and this series is dedicated to Jim Shooter, who wrote it, who passed away recently. So may he rest in peace. And it is also dedicated to Peter David, who was a prolific comic book writer, predominantly at Marvel. His run on the Spectacular Spider-Man and then the Incredible Hulk were legendary. And unfortunately, Peter did not have the best pension. A lot of the comic book industry's legends do not have the best relationship with the industry. A lot of creators pass away and do not get the money that they deserve for their hard work. So I do have a lot of sympathy, and especially since I'm an aspiring writer, I know that I'm in for a lot of heartache in terms of payment for the work that I want to do. But you can support creators by going to conventions and paying them for a print, or you can go on their blogs and websites and ask for a specific piece of art, or you can pay them for a short story. So please support creators of the industries that you enjoy, not only comic books, but all of the industries that you enjoy. And on that note, if you are new to this show and want to check out more comic book reviews and movie reviews and video game gameplay and the like, please subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when I post new videos, and share this with your friends if they're interested in this sort of content. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up button. If you did not like it, then I do apologize, but you can hit the thumbs down button. And in the description of this video, I will leave a link to my podcast, so you can subscribe to my podcast, please. And I'll also leave a link to my Patreon page and merch store, so if you'd like to support this show financially, I'd greatly appreciate that. At the merch store, you can get a t-shirt or a coffee mug or a long sleeve shirt with my channel's logo on it. And at Patreon, you can get early access to videos and episodes of my podcast. You can also read my original writing projects and get Patreon exclusive videos and episodes of the podcast, etc., etc. Slew of benefits. And I'll also leave a link to my social media profiles. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and Discord. So if you want to send me a message and stay up to date about my show and my podcast, please consider checking that out. Thank you so much for watching this episode and all of my episodes of the National Timely Action Hour. Once again, my name is Aidan, and I sincerely hope that you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.